This conference will now be recorded.
So this is our AWS console. In this AWS console, we will go to the view all services. So there is a compute. So this is our compute. Okay. In this compute system, this is your EC2. Okay. So click on this EC2. What is this EC2? EC2 is a elastic computing cloud. It is a public cloud. Okay. It has like all the server features. Generally, when you created the EC2, okay, it will under the BPC. So you can see the BPC. So whenever you will create the EC2, EC2 cannot be exist without the virtual private cloud. So what should be the infrastructure? Okay, how the thing? This is your AWS cloud. In this AWS cloud, you already defined the roles, accessibility, and all. Now what is happening? Your BPC will come. BPC means virtual private cloud. I will explain this. Okay, next chapter. In this virtual private cloud, you have a subnet. Okay, this is your subnet. Okay, subnet is a subset of the virtual private cloud. Basically, BPC will provide the IP address in our system. See, your system has one IP address. Who is allocated? Your virtual network. Okay, suppose that this is the IP address range. So we can say one apartment has a 500 flats. So that 500 flats, that is the range. Similar way, this particular BBC, we can attach 56,000, well, 65,536 IP address we can attach. Okay, so 65,536, 536 IP address means this much of devices we can connect in this virtual private cloud. If you check in your laptop, desktop, ipconfig is the command, you will get the IP address. Subnet is a subset. So basically, subnet is kind of A block, B block. In the A block, 10 flats are there, B block, 10 flats are there. So it's kind of a subset of the virtual private cloud. So we can say 10.0.0./24. It means 256 IP address. So 256 flat can become in this subnet if /24 /16 is 65,536. How the calculation will happen, I will teach in these chapters. As if now you forget it. Okay, so inside this, suppose that this is the apartment, this is the like a block. Inside that, your flat means this is the server, EC2. Okay, so these are the layers. So EC2 is a server, elastic computing cloud, we can say. It is the public cloud, we can say. What we will get here to access this, we will get the endpoints. Okay, we will get the endpoints. Okay, that's how I trying to explain. So EC2 always inside the virtual private cloud. Okay, here like you can see the service health. So this is the health dashboard, like your John's, like John's name, US 2A, 2B, 2C. You want to enable more Johns, okay, then enable the additional Johns. You can go and enable the additional Johns. Come back. Then as if now you are in the Ohio location in the US, you can change the location where you want to keep your server. So these are the server. locations are available. So basically one continent to another continent you can switch in the AWS. That is the very best feature, so that any kind of the disaster came in one location, you can migrate your infrastructure to another location, or you can starting itself you can create the multi-ability zones your server. So both location your server will be available. Now the migration and all server migration you can do, and here you can see the zones, like these many zones are available: 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 1E, 1F. So we can say like you are staying in the Australia, so you are staying in the like a Dockland, somebody is staying in the Flinders Street, somebody is staying in the like suburb. Okay, so this is kind of a zone. Okay, we can say in that way. So now this is the EC2 related components. Okay, so here instance related components, here images, elastic block store, security, load balancing, auto scaling. So these are the like a server. One job, one guy is maintaining in the company only the EC2 work. Okay. Now how to, so let's see the global view. This is your EC2 global view. So basically, what is happening in your AWS cloud, you can able to see how many regions you have, how many servers are available, how many VPCs. So each region you have a default one VPC is there. How many subnets are there? How many auto scaling groups are there? And what are the regions you have? You can see Hyderabad, Mumbai. Okay, Hyderabad is now become very famous nowadays, and so many IT companies are coming in the Hyderabad. Okay, so now you can see Melbourne. So these are the regions. Okay, you can utilize it. Global search. Here you can see what are the subnets. See, I created the three subnets, so it is there. Okay, so you get to know what is the global picture. Okay, now back. So as of now, we just explore what is our UI screen on the EC2. Now we want to create the EC2 machines. So there is a instance. You say instance. Okay, click on this instance. We want to create the EC2 instances. Click on this launch instances. So suppose that I want to work, I am working in the like Australia. I want to create one server, that is my virtual server. My all the work will be in the virtual server. I am not carrying the laptop. Okay. Suddenly some work came. I will go some cyber cafe, connect my virtual machine, and I can do the work. So I should not keep my laptop carry. Okay. If anything I want to work, I can do the virtual machine because everything is on the server. That's how COVID time all the companies are able to work because of everyone is using the cloud or cloud virtual machines. So the good part is in the cloud, any kind of the virtual machine you can create. If you can see here, like AWS, like Linux flavored operating system you can create, Mac you can create, Ubuntu you can create, Windows you can create, Red Hat you can create, SUSE you can create, Debian you can create. So plenty of Amazon machine images available. AMIs are available. Plenty of machine images available. So you can use Amazon machine image. Amazon machine image is what? It is your operating system. In the operating system, what is the flavor for the operating system and what are the default packages installed? Okay. Suppose that you just want the Windows, select the Windows. You just want the Linux, then select the Linux flavor. You just want like 64-bit, you can go the 64-bit. 32-bit, you can go to the 32-bit. Okay, Mac you want, then you will get the Mac. Okay, so Nowadays company are not giving the Mac laptop to the employees. What they are giving, they are giving one Windows system, and they are allocating the virtual Mac machine, so you can work in the Mac. Okay, that's how the trend also is going on. So clear the filter. Suppose that the requirement which you have the operating system which is not available, that configuration, then you can go to the AWS marketplace, and from here you can take it. You just select it and you need to pay. So various companies, they provided their operating systems, Amazon machine image. So you can type which version you want. Suppose that you can take it. So always select. Suppose that you want Ubuntu. So always select, okay, the reputed brand, so that packages should be the authenticate. Okay, because when you will develop your software, if you take the unauthorized operating system, the chances will be more somebody can hack your system. Then there is a community AMI. There are the various communities, they are also putting their Amazon machine image, you can utilize. But I will always recommend very first choice, use the AWS related AMIs. Okay. Later go to the marketplace and choose there the better configuration, better brand and all. Let it be, it will be the costly, but take a secure. Community AMI, when until you don't know very specifically, then no need to purchase. If you know, then only you will purchase. Okay, that is like your AMI things. Amazon machine image. Amazon machine image, basically it is like a software configurations for your operating system. Like see, suppose that you have a window flavor operating system. In that window flavor, what are the default packages in terms of the securities, in terms of the software you want to add? So that is will come in the Amazon machine image. Okay, now how many number of the instance you want to create? So initially what happened, like when we want to give the order one or two machines, we can't give the Cisco. Earlier what happened, you are getting the operating system from the Cisco, but now, okay, you want 1,000 system, 1,000 virtual machine, just you can create it, but you should take a approval for your manager. Okay, as if now create the one, so server is a costly. Okay, so we will create based on the requirement. Once our requirement will over, we will delete it, or we will stop the server. Nowadays, you saw when you are working in the railway, banking, and all, in the night server are not working. You are getting the message service is unavailable so and so time. Okay, because of the reason is every companies knows in the night nobody is working. Why unnecessary keeping the server live? So they will stop. But previous day, what happened? The legacy system, like you have to pay, you have to bear the lighting cost, you have to maintain. If you have your physical infrastructure in your premises, correct, cooling system, server, you cannot stop any day, correct. So we are saving the cost in the in the like cloud. So suppose that I want to create a one virtual machine. Now what is the name of the virtual machine that we can define? We can define the name of the virtual machine is like ANZ Bank. This is the server ANZ Bank. So Go Money app, in the ANZ Bank, the app is a Go Money. So Go Money app server. So basically ANZ Bank are using the Go Money app. So that is the server I am creating. Okay. Now that server can be, okay, let it be the Linux. Use the Linux flavor, or Windows server. Let it be the Windows server. Okay, you go and created the Windows server. Now, what is the configuration of the window? You can see free trial. So you are using, so you can use the paid version also. As of now we are using the free tier, let it be the free tier. Okay, so what the input we gave first is number of the instances 1, server name enz bank go money app, select here the windows, and then Amazon machine image. Okay, then what should be the instance type? Instance type means CPU. This is the Amazon machine image operating system you decided. What should be the CPU? So you decided the CPU like T2.micro. Now you can see you have a nano server, micro server, small server, medium server, large server. You can see large server means 8 gigabyte memory, and this is the charges for that. X large server means 16 gigabyte internal memory and 4 CPU central processing unit. Okay, so charges will be increased 1.8. Okay, now T2.2x large 32 gigabyte memory, 8 CPU, more faster. Then T3 micro is small, medium. Now you can go 15 gigabyte. Now you can see 190 to 144 gigabyte internal memory and 72 CPU, C5.18x large. Okay, these kind of the configurations, if you will buy in the hardware, then you know how much money will spend. Now you can see 192 gigabyte internal memory RAM and 96 processing unit, C5 dot metal configurations. You know these kind of the computers. It's kind of a supercomputers which is in your hand now. You can fly, but the thing is, you should have the money to pay. So depends on the company requirement. On the spot you can like get the operating systems and CPUs, how much you want, C5A large. So any kind of the experiment you can do that. As of now we can go just use the like a T2.micro as a free tier. Okay, because the configuration, higher configuration, then we need to pay higher bill. Okay, so if your pocket is allowed, then only select. If your business you are getting accordingly, you will select. You should understand how many customer you are targeting. They are daily reaching to your customer. Select only that much of instance type. Okay, it's not like that. It's not like a, it's like a shopping mall. You go and take it what you want, but end of the day when you will go out from the shopping mall, you need to pay the bill. Okay, if you key pair means authentication, basically who will log in on this server. Okay, so authorization, because wrong person cannot be should not be logged in my server, because my server is a banking server or insurance server, like those kind of the application are running. So I will create the authentication. So for the authentication purpose, I will create the key pairs. Click on this create new key pair. So AWS is very user friendly. It is not telling you do the navigation here and there. From each line itself, it will guide you. So we can say like ENZ bank P server key. Okay. Key pair type means RSA means, see, it is RSA is a algorithm. So based on this algorithm, your password is protected so that you can log in your server. Private key file format .pem file. So cryptographic file basically it is. So basically how the data will go to wrap with this cryptographic algorithm RSA. Okay, so we are selecting. So we no need to bother internally how or what they implemented. Our job is we need to consume. Select the parameter as RSA. Select the parameter as .pem file. Create key pair. So this key pair, when we created, we need to keep in the secure place in the folder, and we should not share to anyone, because tomorrow something will happen on the server and you are the responsible person, then responsibility is on you. Okay, now we are coming to the next, network settings. Network setting means where you want to keep your machine, in which network. See, currently you people are working and connected to me via internet. So if you see in your system, type the CMD and check what is your IP address, IP config. Type here. Okay. So the thing is, you will get the IP config. So you will get the IP address. You can see this is the IP address 192. So 192 is what? It is like a private IP address. It's like a temporary IP address, dynamic IP address. We can say it's allocated. This IP address is allocated by my router. See, I connected some internet network. For that internet network, okay, there is a router is there. So this IP address is allocated by the router. Okay, same way you will check in your system what is the IP address. That IP address is allocated by your router. Okay, so similar way, like how that IP address will come inside the which network you are. In that each network, this is the virtual private cloud. This is the one network. Inside that router is there, router table, root table is there. Okay, so your EC2 inside the VPC. So VPC will decide what is your system IP address. Okay, inside the VPC there is a router. So router will decide what is your server IP address. Okay, so your virtual network IP address is 10, start from the 10, then your machine IP address also start with 10. Okay, because it is the inside that. So as of now, just I gave you the highlight, but we will understand in the detail in the networking concept. So Google team knows, sorry, AWS team knows. Okay, everyone not in the part of the networking, so they created the default virtual private cloud and provide to you. So this is the default virtual private cloud that we are using, and default subnet that we are using. Auto assign public IP. Each system should have a IP address, that is the public IP. Why public IP? If you don't have a public IP, you cannot connect your internet devices. For connecting with the internet devices, we needed the public IP address. Now there is a firewall. Firewall is like protecting your server. See, your server, there is a number of the, so your server don't know anything. It's kind of a very innocent guy, very like a innocent guy, we can say. So to protect the server, there is a like a one kind of the security, we can say firewall. So this is a virtual firewall. So this virtual firewall, it is nothing but it is the security group. Okay, it is the security group. So basically it's kind of watchman. So here the data is, here the rule we will create, like in our server what kind of the request can come. In my server only SSH request will come, which is port 22. So my server, if I set this rule in the security group, so the request which is coming from the internet, okay, so which request will it will allow. So this is the internet users, how we will represent 0.0.0.0.0. So once the request will come, security group will check what is the rule. Okay, this request is coming from the, suppose that this request is coming from the RDP and port number something like a 80. Then Can be this request can be go inside the server? No, because it will not allow. Okay, when the request will come SSH type and port number 22, yes, so then it will give the green signal. Okay, so basically we can say, okay, now it will access because it is coming from SSH and 22. Okay, so like that's how firewall security group is a virtual firewall. As if now for the window purpose we need the RDP protocol. So allow the RDP protocol. Okay, that is the default. That's fine. And anywhere means 000. Why you are giving the anywhere? Because you want to connect your window machine, you are at the internet site, so you can able to connect. Otherwise, if you are working in the company, give the custom and give the range of the IP address. Your company IP address is 10.0.0.0. Let's click. Then only the IP address which is started by the 10 and in your company, only those people can connect your server. Suppose that you just want only my system only can connect my IP, give that. Then only your system IP only can connect on the server. Let it be go to the anywhere. Okay. Anywhere means locally you want to connect your server which is created in the Virginia location US. Now we go to the storage. Storage means in the EC2 we define the storage that is like a instance store. So hard disk we can say instance store. Okay. So you can give like a 300 gigabyte or 30 gigabyte you can select, and GP2 that is like a what type your hard disk like. So nowadays people are using the SSD, IOPS like input output per second, HDD, magnetic. Let it be use the SSD, that will be the faster. Okay. Now add new volume we will understand later. It is like a external hard disk. Suppose that you want to add like a 5 terabyte of the data on your server, so you can add the volume. So terabyte of the data you can add by using the elastic block store. As if now not required, leave this. Okay, then this is the basic configuration of your machine. Rest of the things will be default. Advanced detail if you want to see, like domain join directory. Suppose that you want to connect your company directory where like users are there. IAM similar way, the organizational users they can also operate your server, perform the operations. Then you can add the domain join directory. Okay. IAM instance profile, when EC2 server want to access some like a storage service, database service, then you can add here IAM instance profile. Basically role you are added, you will create the role, that role you will add it. Okay, as of now leave it. Then instance auto recovery, so you can set in the production environment as it is default. Shutdown behavior, if you make it as a stop then that is a shutdown. Okay. Shutdown hibernate behavior. Hibernate, you remember in our local desktop we are doing the okay system go for the hibernate. Okay, so if you want to enable, then hibernate features also will come in your server. Terminate protection, termination protection, if you enable it nobody can delete your server. Okay, so that is the termination protection. Stop protections, if you enable then nobody can stop. The reason is you want some server cannot be stopped. Okay, Then detailed CloudWatch monitoring. If you can enable, then you then elastic GPU. Okay, so it is the graphical, like, so what are the unit you can select it. Then credit specification, basically what is your plan, unlimited or standard. So that you need to select based on your company. Then placement group, so it's again related to the plan. Now capacity reservation, so it's kind of a hardware kind of the units. Capacity reservation, open none, target by ID and group. Tenancy, like shared dedicated host, you can select. RAM disk ID, so you can select your the RAM disk ID. Kernel ID, what kind of the kernel you want to use, you can use that kernel ID. So these all are the hardware. License configurations, you can take it. Then metadata accessible, so something like a internal parameters and variables. Then metadata versions, like V1 or V2, which version you want to use. Allow tag in the metadata, so you can do the tags in the metadata. Okay, so these are the advanced feature. Then user data means we can say bootstrap data. So bootstrap data means you want, when my very first machine will configure, I want some packages, some command will be installed here. So any script, shell script, any command you can write it here. So those package also will install while creation of the machine. It will happen only the once. After that you will do stop, start, anything. Again it will not happen. At the one time only it will happen. So the data, the command which you want to execute only once, while the time of the creation of the virtual machine, you can write it. Okay, like you can write it sudo yum update. So suppose that you want to update, so that's how you are writing this command. Okay, so this command will execute it once, so that you can mention here. So as if now I am not going to do anything, just advanced detail, close it. I put it the configuration like one number of the instance, server name, selected the windows, then instance type t2.micro, key pair I defined, network settings, security group RDP, and storage, let it be the default. That's it. AMI window, virtual server type t2.micro, that is I am defining. Launch instance, that's it. So even 5 clicks, just 5 input parameter, my server is created. If you remember, when you created the like a partition in your system for the VMware system, for the virtual box, and you are making the partition in your system like one side your window machine, one side your Linux machine, your entire day gone. Now today, within the 10 minutes, you can able to create your server. That is the beauty of the cloud. Okay, so now you think how much is very important to come to the cloud. Okay, to secure your career and to get the growth in the career. Okay, go to this view all instances. So here we can see, like, your instance is created ANZ Bank. This is the instance ID. This is the running state. We can check status, alarms. This is the public IP address, public DNS is created. Okay, so things will come here. Okay, now launch time, click on this. So here you can see the instance type. This is your instance ID. This is your host name, internal host name. Okay, like intranet, while one system to another system you want to connect, you will use this. Or to assign public IP, this is the public IP address 52. Whenever you are getting this kind of the IP address, it is a public IP address. Whenever you are getting the IP address which is started with the 192 and all, that is the like a uh, generated by the routers and assigned to you like private IP address we can say. Okay, so you can see here 52 and this is like a private IP DNS. T2.micro, this is the BPC ID attached, this is the subnet is attached. Public DNS, public DNS. Okay, always use the public DNS while connecting the machine and all. Okay, because the public IP address, if it is not a static, this is as if not dynamic IP address. If it is not a static, when you do the shutdown or again restart your machine, your IP address got changed. You remember when you working in the company and you are taking by the MSTSC from the home, connecting your machine which is in your office. Sometime your machine is unable to open. Then what is happening that because by mistake somebody restart your machine, then your IP address got changed, and by the MSTSC you are using the same IP address, but you are unable to connect. Okay, that is how the things is happening. So what you used to do, make a static IP so that your IP address will not be changed. But I will leave let it be the dynamic IP because of the security concern. Because if IP address is static, then people can misuse it also. Okay, so let it be the dynamic IP address. Keep on change. Okay, based on the time frame. Okay, so but if you want to keep due to some reason, make it as a static. You can make it as a static IP address. Okay, you just need to pay. So I will tell you how we can create a static IP address which cannot be changed in this machine. Now this is the details window platform. Okay, and you can see AMI ID, AMI name. Okay, and then we can go to the security. This is the security which is attached networking. So this is the networking like public IP address, subnet, BPC ID. Okay, and your network interface via internet network interface. It is created by default. Your internet traffic will come to your network. Okay, then storage, this is your instance store. EC2 has a instance store. It's kind of a hard disk. Okay, this is your volume ID. Status check. So here you can check your status, report the instance. Monitoring. So one guy is watching the server like what is the server activities is going on. According that he will play his role. Okay, so here the graphs and all based on the load it will come. Tag for identification purpose, what purpose the server it is. Now we can go to the instance. Now server is running, status check is 2 by 2. Okay, now you want to connect this particular server, select, and there is a connect options, click on this connect. Okay, now you have the operations like RDP client, EC2, serial console or session manager. Go to this RDP client. Okay, and what do you need to do, download this remote desktop file. Click on this. Now password, so username is administrator. Okay, what is your password for this? You have the key pair, so by the key pair you will get the password. Click on this get password. Upload your private key file. You remember you have one key, upload it, this key. That's why I told. Okay, so you upload it. Once you upload it, decrypt the password. So now this is the password. Okay, save this password in some secure place. Now this is the RDP file, remote desktop file. Click on this remote desktop file, connect. Administrator, give the password, click on this OK. So now what you did, you connected your virtual server, window based virtual server from your local. This server is available in the US. Okay, So this is your window machines which you created. See, your window machines is created, your virtual server is created. You can able to perform the work inside the cloud. Okay, so here you have everything. You have the Internet Explorer. So generally, what happen when you are working in the client place? Okay, from your local laptop, you are connected to the client virtual machine, and in the client virtual machine, you are doing the work because client want data security. Okay, click on this yes. So it is kind of a same because of the cloud only. Nowadays, on-site work is like no more. Clients say, "What you will do? Come to my location." Okay, I will give you the virtual station. You will work in that. That is the reason on-site is less nowadays. Whoever is working in which country, so people are giving the job in their locations only. That's how the COVID made a culture. That's how the work from home culture came in the market because of all these clouds. Okay, so you can go here. Everything, whatever the operations you want to perform, you can perform like CMD. Now this is the command prompt. Now here you can perform IP config. See, you are getting the internal IPv4 IP address. Okay, EC2 dot internal. So it is the cloud oriented IP address. Okay, so this is your tag. Okay, server manager, window PowerShell, any operations which you want to perform, Windows security, you can perform. This is your Windows server. Okay, now once you scroll down, that's it. Okay, suppose that it is keep on running. Okay, now you have another approach. In your system there is a MSTSC. You know MSTSC, I think you played a lot in your company. Go here. Now what do you need to do? What is the IP address? Public IP address or public DNS you can give. I give the public DNS because IP address can be changed but DNS cannot be changed. I gave this. Okay, now connect. Now give the like whatever my okay. So what I need to give that. I forgot the password. Get in the password. Upload. So we can save someplace. Decrypt. This is my password. So via MSTSC. Okay. Click that. Click on OK. So my server is running. So I not required RDP file. Via MSTSC also I can connect. Because you remember we gave the 00. Okay, already one connections is there. Okay, so it's there. I'm trying to do. Okay, I close this, disconnected that, and so this is the RDP. Or this RDP you can show in the folder in your desktop also you can keep, and whenever you want connect your server. That's how the team what they are doing. The team what they are doing, like server is running and they give you the URL. Somebody wants to do these things. Okay, this is the server. This is the username and password. You guys can connect it. Established via MSTSC also. See, again you connected your server. Your server is running. Okay, your server is running, anybody can use that. Okay, close this. So this is the way we can create the window machines, Linux machines. Okay, that will come here. Any questions you have, you let me know. Okay, we can discuss.